Well, having a more empowered marketing capability can bring clear benefits to medtech companies. The change isn't going to happen overnight. There's the legacy of how things have been done in the industry for many years, and changing inertia in a large company anywhere is hard to do. But we think it's worth the effort to do it. We think it starts at the top, to really have the alignment at the executive level. This is important for the company to really drive future enterprise value, and to really understand what concerns some of the different functional leaders might have. And then once that alignment exists, to really reinforce that throughout the ranks of the organization. While it's great to have alignment at the top, the work really gets done at the VP level and below. The second piece of it is to really enable marketing to be successful by shaping what the responsibilities are and how decisions are made in the company. When we've done time allocation studies with medtech companies, we found that the majority of the effort of marketing team members, sometimes up to 100%, is spent on what we categorize as keeping the lights on activities. Things like chasing down back orders, inventory management, answering calls from the sales force, supporting cross-functional teams around sustaining projects. These things this isn't a criticism. These things are important. They have to be done. But the same amount of effort, and maybe even more effort, is required to do true marketing, to really understand market insights, to be out in the field, to understand how to develop markets and build value propositions and develop evidence. And that takes time too, and that's as or maybe even more important. Now, in some companies, this means that you're going to need to spend more money on marketing. In other cases, it might be a shifting of resources, or some of the maybe lower value activities that are currently done can be shifted to cheaper resources. And regardless, we think that the greater revenue that's going to be generated by having a more relevant portfolio with a stronger value proposition is worth the price. Once marketing is resourced effectively, is to really empower marketing. Establishing the right governance models to ensure that marketing is either at the center of how the right decisions are made, or plays a big role in facilitating the team in making the decision. So for example, during an R&D stage gate review, when there's questions being asked to the R&D organization about the product, the same level of questioning should be provided to marketing around the business case, around the market opportunity, the forecast, the competitive landscape. How does the world look today versus when we started the program a few years ago? And marketing should be expected to answer that question, and should be expected to answer that question with a sufficient level of rigor. So where do you go from here? You know, the reality is that marketing in many companies is a very low investment area. So it's probably going to have to happen through incremental steps. Perhaps you can start in a high potential area of the business where you can pilot new ways of doing things. Or you can take baby steps along the way to start to pick apart some of the different areas to evolve the capabilities. Another a more radical approach that we've seen some companies consider is to leapfrog. So instead of taking the incremental approach, just fast forward and become cutting edge today. Learn from what's happened with some of the disruptors in the industry, like Amazon and Google, and how they're approaching things, and start to bring some of the new and exciting capabilities around artificial intelligence and digital and connected health solutions that are really revolutionizing how some classical things are done, like research and analysis and even marketing, and think about how you can actually bring those to your organization right now.